What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, lifelong sports fan and Falcons fan. So, today I just wanted to take a brief moment to talk about our injuries coming off of the bye. We have some updated news. It looks like Jalen Mayfield in his sophomore season, he really hasn't been out there for the entire year, having gotten hurt in the preseason. He is now officially out. They missed their 21-day window to reactivate him, so he will be out for the rest of the season. Now, again, he was the absolute worst guard in all of football last year after he got thrown out as a third-round rookie pick, who normally played tackle and then was forced to move over to guard. Not an easy position to learn, but still did not play anywhere near the level of competency that we would have liked to have seen from him. We've gotten much better play out of guys like Hennessy, Colby Gossett even to some degree, though he had that one particular game where he had like 3 penalties and allowed a few sacks. So really haven't been getting the play at guard that we would like. Elijah, however, we do have some possible good news. Elijah Wilkinson could be coming back after the bye, which will beef up our guard position, will help us going forward. And then we also are going to be potentially getting back Matt Hennessy, as he's been out for about a month now. There's a chance he could come back as well, as he did not have a season-ending injury. Both of those guys coming back will help beef up the offensive line and will really help us in the long run. It's still questionable in terms of defense on if Casey Hayward is going to be coming back or not. We're just not sure. He's still still not holding his shoulder very well from that injury. We don't have a timetable on him coming back yet either, which is a little bit scary with only 4 games left in the season. If we are going to make a playoff push, which again is a 5-8 team, we probably have no business talking about playoffs, but technically we are not eliminated yet. I still think that the Tampa Bay Falcons game could end up at the end of the year being the deciding factor on who goes from the NFC South. And it looks like with increasing likelihood, we're going to be starting Desmond Ridder to see what we have in him going to the Saints. Again, I have spoken out against this in terms of I wish we had done it sooner. We can't go back in time, though. Would love to have started him right after our loss to Carolina in Carolina. I think that would have made the absolute most sense. So coming back against maybe playing him against the Bears, that would have made a lot of sense. And then he has 3 games before a bye, going to Washington. Again, obviously that was a winnable game. And playing Pittsburgh, again, obviously a winnable game. I would have loved to have seen that happen so that we could have had a solid body of work to evaluate going into the bye week, and then also as we come out of the bye week to evaluate for next year. But you know, at 5-8, it's really time. It's time to evaluate all of our talent, especially given that Tampa Bay came back with 5 minutes left on the clock. It's just Brady being Brady, coming back and beating the Saints on a basically miracle drive there. Seems like Tom Brady has a bunch of those. By the way, Tom Brady now has more fourth quarter comebacks than Peyton Manning with that one on Monday Night Football. So, just one more stat to add on to the GOAT. But anyways, guys, we're going to be dealing with some injuries here for the rest of the season. We're going to be out or missing some guys. Kyle Pitts obviously is done for the year, having surgery on that torn MCL. We'll see how he does next year, but that should be a pretty quick recovery overall. Would have loved to have also seen him get to play with Desmond Ridder, so we knew what we had there. See if they had any sort of chemistry together. A.J. Terrell is in our lineup again. He's been playing relatively well since he came back. Darren Hall is looking better at corner with the addition of A.J. Terrell, as he was looking a little bit shaky without his help. Then you have Isaiah Oliver and Dee Alford, both of which have been kind of cornerstones for a few years as in backup positions for corner. Richie Grant has come alive, playing pretty well overall at that free safety position. Jalen Hawkins also in there, making a few key plays for us. Eric Harris, I believe he is still hurt. Let me just look at the injured reserve. Nope, not on injured reserve anymore. I thought he was still hurt, but Eric Harris is not terrible either. But we have still a fairly weak secondary. We're going to be looking to beef that up in the draft. And then defensive interior, we're still down to several players there. Timothy Horn, Abdullah Anderson, Jalen Dalton, none of them have particularly played well in the absence of Taquan Graham, who was only playing kind of pedestrian overall. Grady Jarrett is still the heart and soul of that defensive line. It'll be really interesting to see what we do in the draft. Right now, we have the 10th overall pick. If we go to Tankathon and just see where the picks stand right now, Atlanta at 5-8 is solidly in the 10th position. Assuming we lose more games, though, and teams like Indianapolis, Arizona, Jacksonville, and Carolina win some, there's a decent chance, or even New Orleans. If New Orleans wins, we move to the 9th position no matter what. So we could end up with the top 5 pick if we lose out. I am not advocating for that. I think we need to be going in playing hard for the remainder of the season so that we have something to build on next year. And again, I've heard some people talking about our run game. It's been really, really good. I'm glad to see it. The difference this year versus previous years, though, is that we did have a passing game that we could turn to when the run game wasn't working. Now we have a run game that works and a passing game that doesn't, and teams that have had that combination are in the bottom 5 overall in rankings on every offensive category this year except for rushing. So we do have to balance that out a little bit at some point, but I think we certainly can do it going into the 2023 season. But that's all I got for you today, guys. Just wanted to make a quick video, let you know that I'm still out here, kind of a bye week, a weird one for us to have a conversation about. Thanks for watching. Consider liking the video. Subscribing really helps the channel grow, helps me reach more people. And as always, guys, rise up.